Yo, it's Luke Lee, aka LX2. I'm gonna give my review on the Batman vs Superman. The critics are tearing that shit apart, and I just want to make something clear. Fuck the critics. That movie was fucking awesome. I loved it. I loved every second of it. It wasn't 100% perfect, but what movie is? And I don't know where the critics are coming from. And you know, there's a couple people I know that try to rip the movie apart, saying the script was terrible, it was just horrible, all around terrible. And I'm like, what the fuck movie did you see? I don't know what movie they saw, so, you know, whatever. And when people try to explain to me why the movie was terrible, it's kind of like when that petty-ass woman that all of us know, you know, everyone knows one of the petty-ass women that tries to explain why she ended her friendship with her friend of 10 years, and she explains it to you, and you're even more clueless of why her friendship ended. That's kind of how people sound to me when they're trying to explain the problems with this movie that make them completely think it's terrible. I just got a question mark above their head, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't know. And there's too many nerd fans who are watching comic book movies these days, and they're way more loyal to the material than the actual comic books themselves. So what I do, anyone that questions the character or the origins of any characters, what I challenge you to do is go on YouTube and find this channel called Variant Comics. And it's this guy, he goes over different comic origins, things like that. But one thing he also goes over is the different versions of many of the comic book characters. Basically saying there are multiple versions, multiple interpretations of each character. And these are straight out of the comic books. This ain't, you know, just movie stuff. This is from the comic books. And DC especially explained why certain things don't stay the same by explaining years ago that they have a multiverse. And I'm sure what a lot of motherfuckers don't realize that think they know about comics is that when Superman came out, he couldn't even fly. That's why when you listen to the old theme, it says, you know, faster than a speeding bullet, you know, or, you know, faster than a locomotive, can leap tall buildings, things like that. And I started thinking, like, if this guy can leap tall buildings, like, why would he need to leap? That doesn't make any sense if he could fly over the building. So now I looked it up, and sure enough, when he first came out, he could not fly. That was something that was added later. Batman, shit, he used to use guns. One time he shot somebody, but they changed it. We don't want Batman to kill people, so they changed it up. So, you know, people who are that loyal to comics and give that excuse on why they don't like comic book movies, they're more loyal to stuff that they're familiar with than the actual comic book writers and artists themselves. So, you know, that's what I say is some people overthink shit. And a lot of people saying they didn't like Lex Luthor. I don't like Lex Luthor. They didn't seem like Lex Luthor. There is not one specific interpretation of Lex Luthor. Every on-screen Lex Luthor that I've seen has been different. Gene Hackman, Michael Rosenbaum, the guy from Lois and Clark. And the only two that was the same really was Gene Hackman and you know, the dude Superman Returns, Kevin Spacey. But it was based on the same exact storyline. It's a continuation, so that's why it was kind of a, you know, supposed to be the same thing. But even that wasn't exactly the same, because the Kevin Spacey one was a lot more meaner. So, you know, enjoy the movie, like the movie, don't listen to the fucking critics. And people who are overly critical of comic book material just need to not watch movies, because no comic book movie is going to be exactly the same except 300 and Watchmen, which, I mean, not 100%. Watchmen's not 100%, but it's the closest as far as any movie I've seen. And a lot of comic book people hated the movie. A lot of people hated the movie, and it was very, very loyal to the source material. I mean, the source material was basically, you know, what the story was. It was from the actual comics. So, you know, everybody who has a problem with it, you can kick rocks. I mean, I guess to each their own. People can have their own opinions. But I gotta say, I love the movie. I fucking loved it. And I'll shout that from the rooftops. I want to watch it again. When it comes out on DVD, I'm going to buy it. I also liked Man of Steel. Some people tried to criticize that because they're too loyal to the Christopher Reeves version. And those same motherfuckers like the Justice League and the Superman cartoons from the early 2000s. And the one from Man of Steel, the Superman from Man of Steel, was very, very comparable to that Superman. So, you know, whatever. I'm done with this rant. And I'm done with this review. LX2 has spoken. Superman versus Batman was fucking awesome. I'm out.